USC freshman guard Bronny James will enter the 2024 NBA draft.
I just want to have people know my name is Bronny James and not being identified as just LeBron James' son.
Deep three, and that's going to go for Bronny James!
My dream has always just been to make a name for myself and get to the NBA.
As a parent, something that you could just be in awe of, because that's what you want your kids to be able to live out their dreams.
I think I've put in the work and I'd get drafted because of not only the player, but the person that I am.
Just 6 days, that's all that's left between us and the 2024 NBA draft. And of course, all eyes on Bronny James, although not all NBA teams have been able to watch him in their own workouts, as Bronny has only visited the Phoenix Suns and the Los Angeles Lakers. On Jonathan Givony's latest mock draft, the 19-year-old is currently slated to get selected by the Lakers with the 55th pick in the NBA draft. ESPN draft expert Jonathan Givony is here with us now. Okay, so now that we know who the Lakers coach will be, it's JJ Redick with the hire. How does that impact the likelihood that the Lakers will, in fact, draft Bronny James at number 55?
I don't think this changes anything. The Lakers are still hopeful to retain LeBron James. And let's be honest, drafting Bronny James at 55 helps with that endeavor. And I also think JJ Redick's hire could help Bronny James' development at the same time. JJ Redick was a high-level role player in the NBA. He had an outstanding NBA career. Bronny James is hoping to have something similar, and JJ Redick can teach him a lot about the ins and outs of the NBA and how to carve out a career. But let's be honest with each other. JJ Redick has a lot of priorities moving forward with the Los Angeles Lakers, and a second-round pick rookie is probably not at the top of that list.
That's actually very true. I like how JJ just said that with a straight face. Perk, we all know that father and son combo, they've never played together in the NBA, let alone the fact that we're talking about the league's all-time leading scorer in LeBron James. If it does happen, you know it's going to be a media circus, of course, with plenty of questions of why or why not Bronny played each game. Do you think that JJ would be ready to handle all of that as a new head coach of this league?
Well, I think overall, not just on JJ, but it's going to come down to, again, who he hires on this bench, because Bronny James is not a kid or a young man, in my opinion, that's ready to play right now, and that's okay. He's going to have to develop, and whatever organization, whether that's the Lakers, they're going to have to be patient with him, right, and have a great development program, a great workout guy, and gradually bring him along. But I think, I believe that Bronny is going to be have a pretty good pro career. I don't know if he's going to be at an all-star level, to be honest with you, but that's okay. At the end of the day, you're not drafting him for the right now. You're drafting him for the future. And long as you have the right people in place, the right personnel to make sure his player development is right, then he's going to be just fine.
JG just mentioned the fact that, JJ has plenty of things to worry about and not necessarily a 55th pick in the NBA draft, but how much would you weigh having a first-time head coach into whether or not you're going to team Bronny up with his dad?
I don't think that's a factor at all. I think what I'm looking at, I'm more concerned at pick 17 right now, and we're less than a week away from the first round, which is Wednesday night. There's a lot of catch-up here. As far as, JJ's been on the road doing NBA games. He hasn't been out there scouting. He hasn't been on the court when the Lakers have been doing individual workouts. So if I hired JJ today, what I would do is I would bring him in, certainly, and I would have, whether it be Zoom calls with the group of players that we're interested at 17. So if there's a group of 10 players, what our big board dictates, I'm not having JJ Redick on a Zoom call, or even if we can get them in for a visit where he gets to know their personality. It's not about on the court, the ability to make shots. It's about how that person could fit into the culture of the Lakers locker room. Because, listen, and Dave knows this, they drafted Jalen Hood-Schifino last year, who was hurt. Jaime Jaquez, Brandon Podziemski, guys that they did not draft, came in and made an impact this year. If they keep 17, they're going to need that player to kind of impact that bench there with their depth.
I bet he's an expert on Filipowski and.
Listen, I'll give them the tip right now. If Jared McCain's there at pick 17, he's not getting past 17 because he can help them, and he's like JJ.
Shoot
that ball.
Yeah, for sure. UD, what are your thoughts?
I mean, for me, I love the fact that Bronny James came out and said early, like, I patterned myself after guys like Drew Holiday, Derek White. I patterned myself after these guys. So one thing that they told me when I got to the Miami Heat, if you can rebound and defend, it's a place for you in this league. So yes, he has to develop offensively, but if he can rebound and he can defend at a level or even close to a level as a Drew Holiday, then he's going to have a chance to get himself on the basketball court. Another thing I know, the ultimate professional is his father. If we had practice at 10 o'clock, LeBron James was in the gym at 7 o'clock. He probably rode a 10-speed to practice. He done already lifted weights. He done already got his shots up. Now when practice start, he just getting his motor back going again. So I think that would be a great situation for Bronny, and I think Bronny has the right mindset.
Yeah, I spoke to someone within the Lakers who was present for Bronny's most recent workout, pre-draft workout in El Segundo, and like we've all been saying, they are very impressed by his athleticism. What they like to see is maybe him use that motor more often. He had a soccer background when he was a kid, so he was used to playing on long fields and maybe saving bursts of energy to be able to traverse the whole pitch. Well, 94 by 50 is pretty short. So if he can kind of get that motor revving, I think he can make up for a lot of the size differential that he's going to have there as a 6'1" guard in the NBA.
We just heard that sound of Bronny saying that he doesn't want to be LeBron James' son. He wants to be Bronny James. And then look at us. We're possibly putting him in LA for sure. What about JJ has the potential to make him a good head coach in the NBA?
There is the natural comparison to Steve Kerr, right? Steve was a broadcaster first. He's got that. He was a shooter and a role player. He's a star in his role. And that translates well a lot of times in the NBA to a coaching situation. But I think it's the basketball IQ, and it's also you hear who he is on his podcast. Like, he has empathy. He did one of the best podcasts I've ever heard with when he's got Ben Simmons to open up and really talk about what it felt like for. I've been trying to get Ben Simmons to talk like that, and JJ gets players to talk like that, and it's. I think that the idea that he can relate on that level, and also just thinking about the Lakers in general. They've had 6 coaches in 13 years since Phil Jackson stepped away, okay? They need somebody who's going to stay there for more than a year or two. You've got to build something for a long time. They thought Darvin Ham was going to be somebody who could stay for a long time. They thought Luke Walton was going to be somebody who could stay for a long time. Young coaches can build a program. They're trying this again with JJ because he has all the tools they're looking for, and I think it's that basketball IQ and that rapport he has with LeBron James that, to me, stands out. I mean, that is his job interview, right? Like, you just listen to him talk about the team and the way he connects with the star player. Like, by the end of that season, you could tell there was a disconnect between LeBron and Anthony Davis and Darvin Ham. Like, they were openly disrespecting him and during games or in press conferences and not showing faith. JJ Redick would start off on the right foot immediately.
Yeah, absolutely. I will say this, though. I don't think there's any correlation between LeBron James starting a podcast with JJ Redick to talk about basketball and putting out signals to the Lakers that we need to get rid of Darvin Ham. I just don't think that's a true premise that has been floated out there.
Correlation does not imply causation.
There you go. Very well put. That shows a lot of intelligence quotients there. But I think with JJ, well, go for it, Perk. What do you got?
No, I was gonna say to add to y'all add a little bit more. JJ, he gotta go in that seat and do his best because guess what? I'm gonna be waiting right here to kill his ass.
I bet you will.
Dave, do you want to finish your thought there?
Well, I'm curious to talk to UD because you, I think, went on our air not too long ago and said that if JJ Redick is hired, people are gonna have side glances in the locker room. So can you
for sure.
Further elaborate on that point?
I mean, they're going to question where the message is coming from. They're going to question what's the intent of everything. I mean, we understand how great of a basketball mind that JJ Redick is, but we also understand how great of a basketball mind that LeBron James has. And we also understand that these NBA players today spend 95% of the time focusing on the things they can't control. You can't control the relationship like LeBron has with JJ Redick. You can't control the plays that JJ Redick is going to run. You can't control the schemes or the defense that JJ is going to run. But I guarantee everything that JJ says, somebody's going to question if LeBron James has something to do with it on the back end. That's just how it's going to be. And I told JJ that to his face when I saw him in the finals. It's nothing about JJ that I don't think he can't do it. It's nothing about JJ that I don't think he's capable. He has a bright future. He has a great basketball mind. But this is what the NBA is today. Guys that worry about things they cannot control. That's why I kept a job. That's why I kept a job for 5 extra years.
Hey, look, and let me say this. I want to see how it goes with Anthony Davis because I'm gonna give it to the All-Star break. If Anthony Davis if JJ Redick is not thriving and Anthony Davis is not playing at an elite level and he's not happy, I wouldn't be surprised if he wants out of LA, to be honest with you. I'm gonna give it to All-Star break to see how this go though.
But I'm gonna say this though, Perk, man, you called it out, man. Bringing in a guy like Rajon Rondo and his relationship with Anthony Davis, that's probably the smartest thing that JJ can do, because now you have a guy that's gonna constantly be in AD's ear. You got a guy that's gonna be a communicator between you and what AD needs, and you know AD trusts his LeBron, and trust is huge in today's NBA. Trust is maybe the biggest thing that you gotta have for your locker room and your guys to get your guys on the same page, and he trusts Rondo already.